come in for a quick one, Jake.
Love it.
If it's okay with you, that will be shared on Facebook.
Yeah, for sure.
Right on. I was gonna say you're probably under the signed contract that pictures of you are posted, eh? It's crazy that as a player nowadays you have to sign those contracts.
Yeah.
Back when the cameras first started coming out, we would just post it everywhere and anywhere.
All right, and we are live. Welcome back to the 2018 Canadian Outdoor Singles Championships. I'm Jake Shuknik, joined by Charlie Taylor. How are you today, Charlie?
Doing all right, Jake. How are you?
Tired, to be honest. It's been a long week. Also a little bit chilly here in Regina this morning. Well, I guess this afternoon now. Had a fair bit of rain and still very overcast, but we're going to give it a go and see if we can stream a little bit of a game for you. We got Greg Wilson against Earl Luck in front of you here. It's 12-9 for Earl. Earl's from BC, Greg's from Alberta. Gregor's got some black balls, and Earl has some blue ones.
Oh, Greg's got a nice shot coming in here. Draws the jack.
Yeah, not too bad. Not too shabby for Gregor. Greg, of course, is part of our senior squad. He was down at the Commonwealth Games.
A squad that had a very, very good showing.
Yes, they did. I believe that was Gregor's first time at the games. Did fairly well in the triples. They got fourth. 6 of our 8 teams finished in the top 4 at the Com Games, so that was a huge showing.
Great bowlers, better people is nice to see.
Yeah, that's right. So we're currently having some difficulties with our online scoring system. We'll be posting round by round result standings, what have you, as we get them. But check our Facebook page for where we'll be posting those for now. Right now, Greg Wilson's 2-1, and Earl Luck is also 2-1. So this is their 4th game, and top 2 in the pool advance. Everett Zwires is currently on top in their pool at 3-0. He's playing next door, actually, to Jerome Kirby. Jerome's the defending champion and is surprisingly 0-3 here, so has his work cut out for him if he wants to advance.
Jerome's had a tough go. He's been in some really tight games throughout, but just a couple shots here and there that have not went his way. Big end there for Greg. Picking up 4 in that end. Greg playing a medium length jack. He's been very, very good on those in the first couple of games.
Yeah, looking at his results here, he lost to Everett Zwires 21-20. Then he beat Carter Watson 21-14, and he beat Jerome Kirby 21-15. Meanwhile, Earl Luck beat Daryl Hanoski 21-7, lost to Everett Zwires 21-20 as well, and then beat Carter Watson 21-19. Everett's top dog in their pack, and beat Greg 21-20, beat Earl Luck 21-20, and then last night he beat Daryl Hanoski 21-18. So 3-0 with a grand total of +5.
That's incredible.
That's very well played games.
Nerves of steel playing in that many tight games.
Yeah, no kidding. No kidding.
Looking at the standings, this is a absolutely huge game for these two.
This could easily be the decider of who goes on to the playoffs. Who finishes in the top 2. So Earl's got one locked on there early, and Greg's got a couple that are just in front. Earl's using the blue bowls.
That did not end in a terrible spot for Earl.
No, that's a pretty good position, really.
just as we thought we might see, Greg is
Yeah.
going to throw a little bit of weight here.
Throwing a heater. Currently up 13-12. He's probably feeling his groove a bit. Let's see how close he is. Oh, just got the wrong rub on his outside bowl there. So what do you do if you Earl here? He's already got one on the jack. He's already got position at the back. Do you draw in close to make another one? Or?
I like drawing in just inside the front black without making too big of a target.
Yeah, so you kind of want to bury your bowl so Greg can't see it. That's right. Well, that's not exactly it, but not the worst bowl in the world. That'll be good for 2, and I'm sure Greg will throw another heater. But what do I know?
A little more controlled.
The drive and draw. I guess he's looking to just keep it down to 2. Don't know if that'll be good enough for second shot. I don't think so.
I don't think so. If I'm Earl, I like the position of that bowl. It's something to work off of for the 3.
Mm-hmm.
Fashion-wise, I must admit, I love Earl's hat.
It certainly does stand out.
Earl doesn't like that one. Coming underneath there a little bit. Greg just said 2 there for Earl.
So that'll give Earl the lead again, making it 14-13. Of course, ends don't matter here in this game to 21. Yeah, Earl's hat is very noticeable.
That is absolutely fantastic.
I don't know if you can pick it up on the cameras, but it looks like it's probably glow in the dark.
Perfect for a gloomy Saskatchewan day.
So you'll see they're playing with ground sheets there. That's mainly due because it has been raining most of the morning, so greens are very soft and wet. Means they're also very slow, I would assume, compared to usual. Probably down to maybe 10 seconds.
Yeah, I think so. Talking with the players that were coming off after the first game, they were all saying that the greens were still running fairly nice. They were still having their draw in both hands, but definitely a little bit different than the way they played mostly yesterday.
On the rink next door, it's Jerome against Everett, and Jerome's up 15-10, which could be Jerome's first win and Everett's first loss, which would really open up this B pool.
By the looks of it, they're going across both men's and women's. So the definite chance of lots of tie breaks this week.
Yeah, absolutely. Earl's first bowl's coming up fairly short there. Further on down the line, Patrick Duranlo is up 9-8 over Dave Hoopy. And I believe that's Gordon Curtis down 11-15 against Jim Duhulk. So Gray came up fairly short on that bowl too. I think playing pretty close to T here is playing a factor. Wet greens. Bowls are probably a little wet, hard to hang on to.
T in this in these conditions would definitely be tough for the players to make that adjustment when they've been playing quite a bit of short to medium length.
So with Earl's bowl coming up short there, big chance here for Greg to just get one close. Pretty good bowl. That could be number 1. Should be shot.
Good adjustment there from Greg.
Don't know if you can see Earl's foot placement there, but he's barely on the mat. All you need is just a tiny piece of your foot on or above the mat at the point of delivery now, so you can really use the mat a little bit more, stand around, side to side, edge to edge. And just like that, Earl retakes the shot to be lying 1. I don't think Greg's going to be able to do much more than a draw on this.
That hand seems to be playing still fairly well coming in. Shouldn't have an issue getting there.
Ooh, I guess he was going for the jack and a nice little trail there. And down the hill she
I
goes.
was going to say there's pretty good chance that that was not staying on.
Nice to have you with us, Daryl. Tuning into the broadcast all the way in Kitchener-Waterloo area. Glad to see he's still not working.
Good afternoon, Daryl. Glad to see that you work the same way I would if I was working today.
Well, you can maybe give him a break given he's our youth development squad coach.
Well, is there anything to life but bowls?
Yeah. Is there more to life than just bowls? So Earl's lying 1. He's on the mat here with his last bowl. Greg still has 1 to come as well. I think he might want to make that trail first. Try to take it away from Greg if he can. For sure want to have another one in the head. I think he was going for that trail first. Just didn't want to come back on him.
Not a bad spot for who he's playing.
Good place to be. Greg's going to have to be very precise with his trail now, but definitely doable.
There's enough swing there that bowl or jack is definitely possible.
Yeah, it might be even easier if you can get the bowl, just rest it through. Good yard and a half will do it for 2. Next door, Jerome Kirby's up 17-10, and he just took another one too to make it 18-10. So Jerome's getting close to the finish line, and Everett's looking in a little bit of trouble there, which would really open up his P pool. Everett's 3-0, so if he loses, it'll be 3-1. And meanwhile, Earl and Greg are just knocking on the door, 2-1 each going into this game.
Plus minus wise, Earl, we had said he's only a +5, but
No, Earl's plus 15.
or +15.
Yep.
Sorry, Everett's +5,
Yeah.
but Greg's +15 or 12.
Plus 12, yeah.
And Earl being the +15. Looking next door, I'm sure both those gentlemen are very happy to see what's happening.
Oh, absolutely. So Earl picked up a couple there. And plus minus, of course, only really mattering if there's multiple ties, just to rank you before you play the tiebreakers on the green, as all tiebreaks will be played on the green. So 16-13, Earl just needs 5. Part of the delays with games yesterday and today is using those ground sheets does take up quite a bit of time to lay them down, pick them up, lay them down, pick them up. As you just saw Earl go up there and straighten up the front edge of the ground sheet. That being said, I would like to sort of take this opportunity to maybe educate bowlers who aren't as used to playing singles, especially on the national scene, as others, on how to play maybe a little bit quicker. Some of the things we've been struggling with here is time. With no time limits here, people are really taking advantage of that. So to try to pick up the pace of the game, when your opponent's bowling, pick up your bowl. I've seen so many people just stand around, watch, and just, something as simple as having your bowl in your hand when your opponent's bowl comes to rest can make a huge difference.
A lot of times in the singles game, before you get on the mat, you're going to know what your shot is, especially in your first 2 shots. Having your bowl ready to go and being able to make that draw to the jack on your first 2 definitely would pick up the pace for sure.
Another thing I've noticed is a lot of people are asking markers what I would probably say almost unnecessary questions. right now with 2 bowls on the green, there's been some games where people have been asking the marker questions about both bowls, and I would say it's almost unnecessary or irrelevant at this point. Your shot's still probably just a draw. You're not going to be looking to draft that bowl off on your second bowl. Very few times, unless the head is super close, will you really need to know specifics from the marker. And that just sort of comes with experience. You should really sort of play singles more often, I guess, if you're going to get to this level, so that way you can understand where the bowls are, what shots you're going to play.
Prime example of that is first game this morning. Jonathan Patulli was playing against Christy Graham from BC, and they had 24 or 26 ends played in an hour and 20 minutes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, at this level, you should definitely know what you're doing, know which shots you're going to play. You should be able to tell how short a bowl is, how far a bowl is. If the depth perception is off, that's fine, but when there's only 1 bowl on the green, it shouldn't really matter whether it's 6 feet short or 10 feet short. It's still short, and you're just going to draw around it anyway.
Earl with 3 great bowls.
Yeah, he's setting it up nice. Greg's probably throwing a little bit of through rate here. I would have to think he's playing just through the head, maybe grab the jack on his way, find a bowl.
Not far off.
Not far off. Really good place, though, setting it up.
Nothing wrong with matching that back bowl of Earl.
So
where are you putting it?
yeah, so Earl's lane 2. I'm probably still drawing into the head. There's a nice hole there for Greg, but if he makes the trail, he counts 2, but he's got to have a perfect trail. If I'm Earl, I'm still just piling them in there. I think Earl's got the tee as well, so I'm still just taking as much advantage of that as I can.
I kind of like it about a foot and a half behind, splitting the difference between the 2 back bowls and the jack, getting your 3rd shot drawn in there, taking away the trail for 2 on Greg.
Yeah. Can still get in the head and count. Yeah, that's fair.
That being said, I'm not out there, not sure what the green's going to do. And
is he playing on his backhand? I think he is.
I think he is.
Yeah, he is.
Yeah.
So he might be doing exactly what you said, to play around and try to get back to Greg's back bowl there, just to take away the trail. And then he crashed on a short bowl. Not quite enough to be in the head, so currently lying 2 and a look. Probably just 2.
Still lots of room for Greg to get through there.
Greg's taking a long, hard look at this, though, because this is sort of a game saver, game maker end. If he makes the trail, it's a 1-point game. He's right back in this. He's got a chance. If he drops 2 or even 3, Earl could win in on any subsequent end.
It sounds like Greg has made the decision to throw some weight here.
I'm curious at what he's looking to do. Is he looking to just grab the jack? Because it's not going to be a very easy double, because they're parallel.
The double looks extremely hard, but that almost seems like the best result out of this.
I don't know how he's going to get that, though. I think he's got to just be going for the jack. Bear jack drive. Well, we'll see what happens. Let's watch that again. Oh, that's beautiful.
Unbelievable.
That's beautiful. I'm glad we got that on tape.
Absolutely.
Looking to measure, and look at that, Earl using his towel as a wedge. I love that.
I have to remember that. I've always kept thinking when you're playing singles, it'd be great to keep the wedges in the pocket, and I always forget when I walk on the green.
Mm-hmm.
But I always have a towel.
Sense of humor. Not sure what you mean by that, Karen Jackson. Commenting on one of our posts from 4 hours ago where I posted the standings at the time for the outdoor singles. I'm assuming that means she's tuning into the live stream. So did Earl pick up one there to get to 17? I think he did.
He did.
He did.
So now if you're Greg the rest of the way,
Mm-hmm.
you're feeling the pressure to score every end.
Yeah, pretty much. I've seen a lot of the volunteer markers using that little stick thing. Is that something that you're accustomed to seeing?
It is, and it's a fantastic way to use an old golf club that that you've destroyed from a bad shot. They started making those here, I would say, 15, 20 years ago.
Okay.
Clubs across Saskatchewan. Every club you go to has a few of them.
Is Earl grabbing the jack right off the get-go? Yes, he is.
Great opening bowl.
That's getting dangerously close to the edge there. You don't want to go too much further and hit the downhill slope, and away she goes.
Be very hard to draw in behind here.
Yeah, this is going to be very difficult to draw off. You have to have perfect weight, anything heavier, and you're playing with chance. And I think Greg's in the ditch. Not sure if he was going for the jack in the ditch or if he just let it get away too clean.
I wish I had that problem.
Malcolm White tuning in, hoping for an exciting finish to this match. Let's go, Greg. Nice to have you with us, Malcolm. All the way down in Burlington, Ontario. And Earl has drawn a beauty.
That is about as good as it can get with where that jack is placed.
I think Greg's going to probably fire at this, don't you?
Yeah, I would say jack or bull in the ditch is
Yeah.
best option.
Through weight, like, I don't think he's just trying to draw this. I think he's looking to push. And yeah, you can see the marker getting ready there to scoop it out of the ditch. So Greg's off again. First two in the ditch. I don't know if Greg can really afford to just draw anymore now, though.
Oh, I don't think so. Controlled the rest of the way is definitely going to be the way to go.
Just based on how close it is to the ditch with the downhill slope. I think Earl's pitched her in the ditch too, and that's a saving grace for Greg now because he can't lose the game on this end. Most Earl could get is 3, so all the more reason now for Greg to just keep on trying to push and stay, grab the white. He's chasing this down. Earl's going to come down after him too.
It's pretty close.
He's in the ballpark. Very close. Just kissed it. Think that might be enough. That's probably worth a tape anyway. I'm shocked that his bull stopped, to be honest.
I really am.
I think it's only like one bull roll more, and that's downhill.
If it didn't catch the jack that little bit and take that little bit sideways, it would have been off.
So now if you're Earl, I don't see any danger in throwing a drive at Greg's bull.
No, play the other hand. It's fairly consistent playing weight on that hand. I'd say straight up at the bowl and ditch weight will even hold on that hand, I think.
Okay. Looking next door, Jerome Kirby has just defeated Everett Zwires 21-10, giving Everett his first loss and Jerome his first win. Further on down, Dave Hootby's up 12-9 over Patrick Duranlo. Jim Duhulk up 15-13 over Gordon Curtis. That's pretty much all the scores I can see from here. I think it might be Jan Robinson up 2-0 over Ann Morissette. Earl's throwing a little bit of weight.
Looks like he's playing what we were talking about.
Very through weight. Oh, you didn't miss that by much. Big chance here for Greg now, almost the exact same shot. But again, you just have to be so careful with that weight. You can't be anything over. It's strange to think that the draw right now, the way the head is set up right now, is probably the hardest thing to do just because you can't be past. 1 or 2 bull rolls past is as far as you can go. And Greg's coming up well short, aware of pitching 2 in the ditch.
Perfect line.
Mm-hmm.
Wouldn't expect anything less from Greg.
Spends a lot of time practicing out there in Alberta.
From everything I've been told from all the Calgary players, going to Calgary lawn is probably one of the things that you need to do if you're a lawn bowler.
Greens out there are the best, I hear. Kevin Dusablon tuning in, asking, do you guys feel the screen might interfere with the players' bowls or not much at all? Interesting question. So we didn't start streaming this game until halfway through, obviously, and I know that Greg was well aware of the fact that we were moving around behind setting up the scaffolding and the cameras. On the screen right now, in the very far bottom left corner, you can actually see one of the blue pipes. So we're not directly behind their green. We're probably a rink and a half over, but I know he was looking at me and smiling, waving, what have you. So like they're very aware of what we're doing. That being said, I've asked several players so far, do they find playing on the TV rink bothers them, or do they even take notice? And most of them say no, it doesn't even bother them. They don't think of it. It's neither here nor there. So I don't think it would really play much of an issue. I think it would be more of an issue if we were directly behind them, constantly moving, cameras moving in and out, sort of like at the Commonwealth Games with the big boom cameras overhead where it's moving up and down right above your green. Then yeah, that might be a little annoying. But to be honest, I don't even think that they're really aware of us right now, since we're 2 rinks over to the side.
Most of the guys have said that it's more exciting than anything. Talking to some guys that were playing in the medal games for the pairs, and they said it was one of those things that almost you got a little bit nervous energy, but you're kind of excited to be out in front of the camera and playing that kind of situation.
It's interesting that you use the word excited. I've been a big fan of watching some speeches from a guy named Simon Sinek, and he's great at working with companies and helping them fix small things and motivational speaking, what have you. And he got real annoyed with, I want to say it was like the 2012 Olympics. Every single reporter asked every single athlete the same thing before the game, are you nervous? And every single athlete said the exact same thing, no, I'm excited. And so Simon goes, and well, like, what are the symptoms of being nervous? Your heart picks up pace, your palms get sweaty, your blood starts flowing. But then what are the symptoms of being excited? Your palms get sweaty, your heart picks up pace, your blood gets flowing. So it's the exact same thing. It's just athletes have identified it as excitement, whereas other people would identify it as being nervous. So one of the things he suggests doing, oh, great shot there from Greg, is next time you're feeling nervous, just say to yourself, this is exciting. And suddenly you won't really be as nervous anymore. You'll actually be excited for it. So some of the players out here, if they're getting nervous, just turn that into excitement. It's almost the exact same symptoms.
That's a lot of fun. I know a lot of people watch bowls from other countries and see the games being streamed, and getting the opportunity to do that here at home, it's a lot of fun. When you're on a TV rink, it just makes it that much more exciting. I know for myself, if I'm playing in another province and I get the opportunity to play a TV rink, it means that a lot of family and friends get to see a game from this level. So it's always nice to have that opportunity.
Gregor knocking another one in there. So just clarification there, I didn't realize, Kevin, when he said the screen, he actually meant like the ground sheet. Do you think the ground sheet's affecting the players or bothering them at all? That's an even better question. 100% I think it is. When we were here for the first round, I heard Terry O'Neill come off and ask one of the umpires, do we have to play with the ground sheets both directions? Can we move them? So I know right off the get-go, there's at least a few players that it's really bothering. Specifically down at that end, I believe that there's probably a few scuff marks, I guess. So in an attempt to protect those, roll over those, it's there. Oh, what a shot from Earl.
Great shot, Earl.
Goodness me.
Down at the other end is always softer.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, it's one of those things when you get the amount of rain that we did overnight and in action, you saw the scuff marks starting to pop up very early last night. But to answer Kevin's question, I definitely think it affects your weight and at times you're released because you're so worried about making sure everything's perfect for those conditions. You're almost thinking about it rather than just playing your bowl.
Yeah, but it's one of those things you just sort of have to learn to master, learn to conquer. You can actually, I know for some players, even make getting your line even easier, because if there's, you know, a certain mark on the ground screen or anything else, then you can you'll know the second set of your hand, oh, I missed that mark, or I got it, or what have you, and it'll help some people take their line that much better.
That's a good point. We were talking this morning, just a few guys were around about when you're rolling a bowl, what are you looking at?
Mm-hmm.
When you played, are you somebody who is a field player for something in front of you, or do you look at the bank?
Oh, I never look at the bank. It's always somewhere on the green.
The conversation we had about that was kind of funny, because anybody that would be considered, I guess, in the younger bracket that was standing around talking about it would say, we're playing feel in front of us. And everybody that was a little bit older in the group was saying we have to look at something on the bank. And it's almost kind of one of those deals where the younger generation likes to play a little bit more by feel.
Heck of a shot there from Earl, just resting toucher. Beautiful bowl. That makes things very difficult for Greg here. You're going to have to get like the inside edge of it to hope that you can follow through onto the jack. That's not going to be an easy shot.
What kind of weight would you play?
I have a feeling he's probably going to play up weight if you can spank it hard enough and hope potentially get the... If you get the edge of Earl nicely, you might shoot his across. Oh, this is a different angle Greg's looking at. I wasn't looking at that.
No, neither was I.
Looking for a double even. That's interesting.
I kind of like the double, but playing through to the port and hitting the angle you were talking about and coming across.
It's interesting because Earl has the best back bowl too. And so any movement on, if you get that shot bowl square, it's going with it. But if you get it on a side, on an angle, it'll trickle a bit. I'm not sure how Greg's going to get a shot out of this. I think a good option might be to just draw to cut him down.
Greg going over for a word with Coach Dillon.
Beneficial to have your coach right there that you can talk to.
I agree with that. When I was younger, I may not have, because I usually got called aside to say, no, you're not throwing a drive at this.
Yeah, I used to hate that, having coaches tell you, no, you can't do that. And that's not necessarily the most ideal thing a coach should be saying. If anything, I learned from Daryl last year when he was streaming with me in Nova Scotia that most of the time when a player comes over to talk to him mid-game about what shot to play, he doesn't actually make a recommendation at all. He just sort of listens to what the player has to say, and like 9 times out of the 10, the player already says, well, I really like playing my forehand, what do you think? And Daryl's more or less just reassuring, saying, yeah, that's your gut instinct, that's what you first thought, go with it. That was a whole year ago, though, so whether he still follows that logic or not, I can't tell you. But I thought that made a lot of sense to just sort of be reassuring. And I think this is, in fact, just Greg looking to draw a second shot. Unfortunately, I don't know if that did it. Maybe. Mayhap. Yes, Daryl, that is a very technical term. When I say spank it, I mean throw weight at it, hit it, smack it. Very technical terms indeed.
That's a terminology everybody can understand.
Yeah, absolutely. So for sure 1 for Earl. Measuring number 2 here, and again using a towel as a wedge. I absolutely love that. And you can see Earl already changed, well, I guess you can't see it on the screen, but Earl already changed the scoreboard too for just 1.
And it was just the 1.
1913.
With Jerome and Everett finishing up their game, the game on the next rink just getting ready to start is a good one on the ladies' side.
Claire Day from Alberta against Anita Navala from Saskatchewan. That should be a doozy.
Growing up in Saskatchewan, that's one person that you dream of playing mixed pairs with.
So 19-13. I'm going to leave the scoreboard off every time we're at this end just because it would cover up half the jack.
Quite the game going on down on the third rink on the men's draw.
Jim Duhulk and...
David and...
Oh, okay. Dave Hoopy and Patrick Duranlo.
David's come back to take the lead in that one.
And you just counted again as the marker updates the scoreboard. We'll tell you what that is shortly. Dave Hoopy up 17-12.
Earl's chosen to play the long jack again here, going meter to meter. First bowl is in the ditch.
And Greg is close. That'll be numero uno. Number one.
Fantastic bowl.
Interesting strategy to play T to T here with the last 2 feet or so trailing off into the ditch. Means you have to have real, like, much more perfect weight than if you're playing medium length, short length, anything like that. It really takes advantage of those who know their weight.
If you're going to play that, it's almost if you can get that first one buried, you kind of know you have your opponent in a pile of trouble. But you have to make that opening shot to make it really count.
All the more important to have that first bowl. Greg is close here again. That's good for 2. John Patulli cheering on in the background. Now this is quite the fickle spot for Earl, though, with Greg having a front resting toucher there and a back bowl. Probably needs to drive both of them off, I would think.
Yeah, the draw is going to be awful precise in that range. I don't know if straight draw weight is going to get you much here.
It's tricky too, though, because you don't want to drop a 4 ball on Greg. He just has to keep on piling them in here. Huge momentum swing. Unless Earl can make a great shot with one of his last 2 bowls.
Earl's shaking his head. I think he knows how important this end is. Giving Greg a big score is not.
Greg Wilson. Greg Wilson. Line 3. Should Earl just be drawing down to reach those back 2 bowls? Because now he's got 2 things he can rest against too. So that might be an option to just get second shot.
I think that's his best option. The only other option is going to be, in Jake terms, to spank it and hope that the jack gets by there and doesn't move that bowl that's close to the tee there.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think the best option here now is for Earl to just try to draw into those back 2. That would be very difficult for Greg to get out if he can rest those back 2 bowls.
If I'm throwing this bowl, I don't like either option at this point. They're both difficult shots.
Very big opportunity, though. It's not like he has to be perfect. The fact that he can rest either of those 2 bowls means he can afford to be a little bit more aggressive into it. Doesn't have to be a perfect draw, perfect trail, or anything like that.
Giving up 1 here is not the end of the world.
Yeah, exactly. And that's something that too many people forget. Once you get to 18, 19, 20, if you've got a decent lead, you can give up 1s. That's quite okay.
Oh, he's went with a little bit heavier weight.
And he lifted his hand. I want to say he thinks it backed out maybe a little bit. That's interesting weight, because that wasn't big weight. I'm not sure if that would have done really enough to...
I don't think so. I think it was...
to kill it or anything.
Draw to those 2 or play the heavy.
I think he needed more weight than that if he was going to try to make a change. So big chance here for Greg on his last bowl to draw a 4th bowl for 4th shot It's currently 19-13 for Earl. So if Greg can count 3, it'd be 19-16. 4 would be 17, which would be even better, because then he's now within striking range on any subsequent end as well.
This is where you get that excited, nervous feeling if you're Earl. Greg, I think playing from behind here, he'll be pretty calm and cool, still knowing the position he's in. But seeing Greg coming back here,
I think he got chicken. Yep.
He did.
That's a pretty big missed opportunity there. So that'll be 3 for Mr. Wilson to make it 19-16.
I think Earl takes a big sigh of relief not seeing that extra point go on the board. That's a pretty big point.
It is, but he might also be kicking himself too.
Yeah.
Nice to have you with us, Christine Garbier, watching and nice and clear. Thanks. Well, I'm glad. Big thanks will go out to Brandon Watson and Michael Petulli, who were in charge of streaming and technical details here. So big thanks to Brandon and Michael for making sure we have the best internet package here we can, so that way we can stream to you in crystal clear 1080p.
It's a good thing they're watching the bowling and not our faces.
Well, I'm told I have a face for radio, so.
I've heard that once or twice before. Greg going back to his more natural jack length here.
Trevor's watching.
Oh, is he? There we go. You got the scoreboard now. 19-16. Big opening bowl here from Greg, and he is just past the head. Pretty good bowl, though. Can't be too upset with that.
Coach Dillon has the pace on now.
Watching observantly. With Claire Day next door, he's got 2 Alberta games to observe. And Claire did pick up one the first time to go 1-0.
Great opening bowl from Greg there.
As always, if you want to get in touch with us, reach out to us on Facebook or Twitter at BCB Bulls or facebook.com/BCB Official. You can also find our Facebook and Twitter accounts by going to our website, bullscanada.com, and up at the top there's buttons for Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, Flickr. New this year, we also have a donate button now. Most people don't realize, but Bulls Canada is a registered charity, which means that we can give out tax receipts. So if you're looking to help grow the sport, maybe think about making a donation around Christmas time. Help out with those tax papers.
All the bowlers across Canada would greatly appreciate the Christmas present to grow our sport.
Yeah, absolutely.
We're playing the background. It looks like this one will come around.
Coming around to the back. Quite the head shaping up here after Greg put 3 beauties together last end. A little bit looser, and Earl's got a chance to finish the game here unless Greg can get closer than that.
It does play a little heavier coming this way, and can definitely see the adjustment is a little bit tricky playing back.
We'll see if Earl can fine-tune his weight here to get in for 1.
Looks like a better weight.
Yep, for sure. I think he might have brought that other one in on his way through. He could be lying 2 right now in the game. Nope, just 1.
Just the one.
Just 1, says the marker. From this angle, that looks like 2 blues for sure.
It really does.
Just 1.
Greg shot to play down on the backhand, follow down. There's a little bit of a port there now.
Is he inside? He's on it square. And I think that just gave him the game. Earl's taking a look. Coming back, having a chat. Is it 2? Shaking hands. Yes, it is. So that's 2. So that'll be 21-16. Earl Luck over Greg Wilson, which will vault Greg into 3rd place for sure, with Earl up to either 1st or 2nd, depending on plus minus and all that. Once all the men's games are done for round 4 for them, we'll get that posted to Facebook as well. We'll probably be streaming the next game too, so we'll take a quick 10-15 minute break. Thanks for hi to Trevor as well for watching. So we'll be back in 10 to 15. Thanks for commentating with me, Charlie.
No problem.